I said on Saturday after Slammiversary went off the air on Twitter that Slammiversary got me to watch Impact, making me want to watch it, if you will. Fuck. I said on Saturday at the conclusion of Slammiversary that the pay-per-view made me want to watch Impact on Tuesday. And I did. And the big question was, could they follow up with that momentum from Saturday? Because a lot of people gave the pay-per-view a lot of positive reviews. And I can honestly sit here and say that Impact Wrestling last night with Impact delivered. They delivered. To the point where I'm going to sit here now and say that, hey, I look forward to watching next Tuesday. Believe it or not. Yes, hell has froze over. Believe it or not. This is an Impact Wrestling review for July 21st, 2020. It's Wednesday as I'm recording this right now. This is another installment of Around the Point. Thank you all for watching. I am Steve. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. Give the video a big old thumbs up. Share it through social media. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. And again, this is the first episode of Impact that I've watched since like Rebellion Night 1. And the thing about this too is that, again, everything about last night's show, I felt like it just went through quick. It was a breeze. Nothing came off stupid, if you will. If I can be critical on a couple things, just two things, obviously. Number one, I didn't watch it on Access TV since I don't have the channel. I watched it on Twitch. I will say this right now. Yes, Melissa Santos is beautiful to look at. However, as a host, she's unbearable. I'm sorry. Not for me, bruh. I get what they're doing on Twitch too. It's smart. They put the show on Twitch for people to see who don't have Access TV. At the same time, when they go to commercials, they go back to this live stream that Melissa's doing. And she's answering the chat, what have you, right? And I can just tell that she's on her iPhone or on a tablet. And throughout the stream, there were like her notifications were going off on her phone. And you heard the vibrate, brr, 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 like, bro, it's annoying as shit. It really, really is. Again, she's beautiful to look at, all the fuck you want. But as a host, nah, bruh, not for me. Just not for me, okay? Number two, the commentary team of Josh Matthews and Madison Rayne is the bleeding shits. The fact that after all these years, Josh Matthews still has a job with Impact is a miracle. It's a shocker, if you will. But hey, I'm pretty sure for Impact Wrestling, he is an asset to that company. So there's that. He's a lifer in Impact. There's a company out there that's still willing to give him a job in wrestling. So there's that. And from a lot of people that have watched Impact still, I don't know how the fuck you guys do it. How y'all put up with Josh Matthews is beyond me. But for then, in the comment threads, I'm going to get the, oh, but you know what? On Monday, you put up with the three-man booth. That's terrible. On Friday night, you put up with Michael Cole and Corey Graves. On Wednesday night, you put up with old man Jim Ross and this and that. I get that. But at least with all those other people, I can put up with, if you will. With Josh Matthews, I can't. And again, I don't hate the guy. I know I'm blocked on Twitter. I'm blocked by him, what have you. It is what it is. But, bruh, I know for a fact there's a lot of young and hungry commentators out there on the independent scene, on the indie scene, if you will, that would kill to be in the spot that Josh Matthews is in, and he can probably do a better job than Josh Matthews. If it was up to me, who could replace him? That being Josh Matthews, I would say from NWA, Joe Galley. From MLW, AJ Kirsch, I believe. Those two, I can tell you right now, could do a far better job than Josh Matthews and his wife. If I'm married, I would not want to work with my wife. I'm just saying. That's just another thing, too. That's just another thing. But there's that. Everything else I thought was good on Impact. Like I said, I look forward to watching next Tuesday. Give me your thoughts in the comments below, your thoughts on the show, that you enjoyed or not, all that fun stuff. I want to hear from you guys as well. The show opened up with EC3. They posted a vignette talking about how he lives for the now, and we've all been warned and to control our narratives. So there's that. They did mention that he will be there on the show, so there's that also. We opened the show up with a rematch from the pay-per-view between Chris Bay, defending now the X Division champion, who is now the new champ, by the way, defending his former champion in Willie Mack. And overall, I thought it was a solid match. Nothing to go crazy about here. I thought their match from the pay-per-view was better than this. Fucking Willie Mack went for the 6-star frog splash and missed. And Chris Bay went for the cutter to retain the X Division champion and still the finesse champion, Chris Bay. I did not know that Chris Bay was a belt collector or a YouTuber of some sort. I think that's cool. The fact that there's someone that was on the platform, what have you, whether you're a podcaster, a YouTuber, what have you, or a blogger, whatever the fuck it may be, or a belt collector in the situation, right? And you pursue your dreams of being involved in the wrestling business. I think that's awesome. Very, very cool. So there's that. Later on in the night, you see him celebrating. He's drinking champagne with 2 women, and Rahi Raju walks in to offer his services to back up the new champion. So there was that. Again, I thought the match was okay. Nothing to go crazy about. I thought the match from the pay-per-view was better. We get Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, the Good Brothers. They come out after what we saw on Saturday when they helped Eddie Edwards. And they come to the ring, and this time, and Gallows didn't slip. Again, on Saturday, he almost slipped. And they crack jokes before they give their speech, right? And Anderson says for months, the wrestling community wanted to know where the Good Brothers were going to. Anderson said they knew where they wanted to go, and that was to Impact. He also says that he believes that they were part of the reason why Slammiversary was trending this past weekend. Gallows agrees with the statement. He says that they're to create the recipe for what makes a great tag team, and they don't need a too sweet gesture to prove it. And after this, Ace Austin music hits, and Austin and Madman Fulton, they make their way to the ring. They introduce themselves to the Good Brothers and notify them that they're the best tag team out there. And all 4 men start the brawl. Gallows and Anderson make short work of Ace Austin and Fulton by sending them to the outside of the ring. But one thing about it too, though, they said that they knew where they wanted to go, and that was Impact. Like, I'm watching that, and it's like, bruh, I don't know about that. Because if you watch this promo, if you watched it, what have you, right? And if you can read body language, I can just look at Gallows and Anderson, and I can just tell that was not their goal the whole time. If you listen to their podcast from Talking Shop, like this past week, where they talked about what happened with AEW and Saudi Arabia and their departure from WWE, yes, they fucked over AEW. They promised they were going to be there, they were going to go, and then they didn't go at the 11th hour. WWE pulled their mother card and made them sign a new 5-year deal. So I just knew, like, from the get, like, nah, that this whole thing, if that's where they wanted to go, was bullshit. The reason why they're in Impact Wrestling, because, hey, they fucked over AEW, right? And the fact that Impact is allowing them, once the travel ban is done with, that they can go work in Japan, in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So there's that too. So let's just get that out of the way as well, okay? I'm just saying. So there's that. From there, we see Heath, who tries to get himself back into the building, and they're not letting him in. Security asks for his last name. He's like, oh, I can't use my last name anymore, for whatever reason. I started laughing, believe it or not, when that happened. I started laughing. He tries to call Rhino, and Rhino and Hernandez, as Heath is calling him, right? You see that the phone is ringing, and Rhino is arguing with Hernandez about a money dispute, what have you, and they're going to settle it in the ring. So there's that. From there, we get Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz versus Havoc and Nevia. I thought this match was there. Whatever, to be honest with you. The match ends when Tasha Steelz hits Havoc with the steel chair, which Havoc no sells at all. To which Nevia then attacks Tasha Steelz, throws it out of the ring, to which Havoc hits a tombstone onto Kiera Hogan. During the match, though, they did bring up this whole thought of bringing back the Knockouts tag team titles. I haven't watched Impact in a long time. I'm not familiar with all the teams that are there, right? from what I'm seeing, is Havoc and Nivea, Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan. I guess if you want to say Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure if they were to bring it back, they'll do a better job at putting out those titles than WWE's with their current women tag team titles. But I don't know. I mean, honestly, do you really want to see them bring it back right now when all you have right now is technically 3 tag teams, if you will? No, I know I wouldn't, but that's just me, of course. From there, we see Sami Callihan looking for Ken Shamrock. Remember, at the pay-per-view, Vega lost to the North, right? There was miscommunication, and Sami is blaming Ken Shamrock, and Shamrock agrees. Apparently, Shamrock goes hard on himself, and you look at Ken Shamrock, even till this day, yeah, he's a badass, all the fuck you want, but he looks old as shit. He's aged real quick. That's just my opinion. He can still go. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate what he did on Saturday in the match with the belly-to-belly suplex from the top turnbuckle, from the dive that he missed. Again, awesome dude, but he just looked old as shit. I'm just saying. Okay? And apparently next week they're going to settle this. Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan. So there's that. From there, we see RVD and Katie Forbes, who are happy to be themselves again, and there'll be a free show by Katie Forbes next week. So there's that to look forward to if you are a sad, perverted man, if you will. But that's just besides the point. Okay? We get Rhino and Hernandez going at it here. The match, the bell rang, and boom, right? If you blink, you missed. If you blink, you literally missed. Rhino hits the gore. 1, 2, 3, and Rhino wins the money. So there's that. Nothing to see here when you think about it, right? From there, we see the North. They're cutting this promo. They list off their tag team accolade before the main event against the Motor City Machine Gun. Ethan Page says that if they're so good, that being the Motor City Machine Gun, that they should try to win the belts off of them tonight. One thing I'll say too about Ethan Page, and I'm watching this promo, and I thought, again, it was very well done, awesome. One thing about Ethan Page, and I'll say this right now, and I said this on Twitter last night, he has like this throwback Bobby Roode vibe to him right now. I'm talking Team Canada Bobby Roode going into a singles run Bobby Roode. And there's something about Ethan Page, I'm going to say this right now, he has future world champion aura to him right now. Where, yes, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna go the singles route down the road between both him and Josh Alexander. And I think Josh Alexander will have a good singles run as well. But if there's anyone you put the rocket ship on down the road, if you're Impact Wrestling, that is Ethan Page. The sky's the limit for that guy in Impact Wrestling. And him as world champion, being a chicken shit heel, sign me the fuck up. Sign me up on that one. But Ethan Page, again, the future is big with him right now. I'm going to say that right now. From there, we get a Brian Myers vignette. He's coming over to Impact, the former Kurt Hawkins. I'm pretty sure his tag team partner will be joining him too. We shall see. We get Gia Miller backstage. She tries to interview the new Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo. Purrazzo says that she heard that Jordynne Grace got injured during their match. Therefore, she doesn't have anyone to put the title up against, that being the Knockouts title. And then out of nowhere, Kylie Ray, who was the number one contender to the championship after winning the gauntlet match on Saturday, she go to introduce herself. They try to shake hands, and again, it's Smiley Kylie, okay? And they start brawling, and they try to break it up. I'm gonna say this right now: the moment Kylie Ray snaps, that's gonna be worth seeing. The day she just gets woke and just snaps, sign me up on that one. I look forward to seeing that when it does happen. Because you know they're milking this right now, right? She's happy, this and that. I get that's her gimmick. But you can't sit there and tell me that there's no money in her eventually snapping. Because it's going to happen. Just saying. From there, we get Eddie Edwards. He comes out. He said that it feels right that he's world champion again. He mentioned that the title hasn't been defended in over 5 months. I can only imagine why. Right? I'm just saying. Tessa Blanchard. God damn it. and that he wants to be a fighting champion and that he will be defending the championship every single week. We've seen this already in AEW with Cody defending the TNT championship. We've seen it in 2015 with John Cena with the US title. And believe it or not, I'm fine with it because A, it's the world title. I think if there's anyone that can pull that off, genuinely, it's Eddie Edwards, in my personal belief. And out of nowhere, out comes Psycho EY, Eric Young, right? I'm sure somewhere out there, American a la carte is saying to himself, that's Psycho EY, the best heel in wrestling. I mean that with love, all right? I mean that with love. He comes out and he talks about how he's the reason why Eddie Edwards is the world champ right now and how Eddie should be thanking him. Remember on the pay-per-view, in that Fatal 5-Way, Eric Young took out Rich Swann after Rich Swann eliminated Eric Young. Hit him with the steel chair and all that stuff, right? So Eddie should be thanking him. And then he started brawling. Like, you know what the title program is going to be down the road. Eddie Edwards, Eric Young. I'm fine with that. However, I will say this, and I said it on the pay-per-view, Eric Young looks old as shit. As long as they don't put the belt on him. And I say that because, again, let's be real about it. Now it's Eric Young with the WWE rub. Where, yes, he was a TNA guy from day one, but he went up north. He got that exposure, if you will. So there's that. And again, perception to reality. The last thing we need right now is another former WWE guy or someone that was there being the Impact World Champion right now. So there's that. But I do think, again, Eddie defending the championship every single week, I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. From there, we get Moose versus Falaba. Yes, Falaba. And again, I have watched Impact in months, and I'm seeing Falaba wearing wrestling boots. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Last time I saw Falaba, he was wrestling barefoot. He had the sumo look to him. I thought it was funny. I seen him wrestle before live at WrestlePro. Over as all hell. He's partnered up now with TJP. That's fine. But he's wearing wrestling boots. It just looks weird on him. It's just totally weird. I get why he would wear boots, though, to prevent injuries and shit like that. That's fine, too. It is what it is. The match happens. Ed Moose wins. Of course, he's defending the TNA World Championship here. As he's celebrating, out comes EC3, attacks Moose, and it hit me right there. Holy shit. They're doing long-term booking. In 2018, and again, I'm shocked that it hit me just a couple minutes ago, and people also on Twitter who caught up on this too. In 2018, they were the Feast or Fired, right? At the time. And it was down to Moose and EC3. And either one of them will get the GFW World Title match or someone will get fired. And Moose got the briefcase with the World Title match. And EC3 got fired, and we all know where he went, the WWE and all that stuff, right? And now, 2 years later or so, right? EC3 is back, and he gets his revenge on Moose. Even though early in the night, when Gia Miller interviewed Moose, talking about former names that he could put the belt up against, she mentioned EC3, and Moose said, oh, no, right now, he's too busy controlling his narrative. So they're hinting you, hey, it's going to be EC3 down the road with Moose, and that's fine, too, for what it's worth. So there's that. But again, this long-term booking just fell on Impact's lap. And I think they should mention that, believe it or not. It'd be cool if they did. I'll say that right now. From there, we get Ace Austin and Madman Full outside. They pull up on the Good Brothers, who are leaving the building, and they get distracted, that being the Good Brothers, right? And from behind, Reno Scum try to attack the Good Brothers to no avail. And then Madman Full and Ace Austin, they just haul ass out of there in the car. We find out that next week, there's going to be a stack show, if you will. You have the Good Brothers making their tag team debut on Impact Wrestling versus Reno Scum. And also Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards will defend the World Championship for the first time against Trey from the Rascals. Remember, Trey was also in that Fatal 5-Way. That should be a fun match. Again, People like Trey and Ace Austin, I said this in my predictions video, they are the future of that company. It is cool to see that Impact are putting these guys in this position. Awesome. You're showcasing your future, as you should be. Yeah, you can even say, oh, that's the MJF and Jungle Boy of Impact Wrestling. You can make that argument too. But again, I think it's cool that they're showcasing the future. We get the main event. The North versus the Motor City Machine Guns for the Impact World Tag Team title. This was a fun match. Probably the best thing on the entire night. If you're one of these fans who, hey, you don't want to watch the whole show, which you should, but if there's one thing you should watch on the show, is the main event. Back and forth. The Motor City Machine Guns honestly haven't missed a beat since coming back to Impact on Saturday. It's like they never left, if you will, right? Good tag team wrestling. The North controlling the ring against, I think it was Alex Shelley for a moment. They mentioned how, yeah, they were tag team champions, how Chris Sabin won the X Division title, how he was the former world champion. I'm pretty sure people remember that one, but that's beside the point, though. Again, the North had control of the match, and they got cocky, and they were about to hit the Northern Assault, I want to say on Chris Sabin, and Sabin countered it, and they rolled up, I want to say Ethan Page, and he couldn't get his shoulders up before 3, and next thing you know, we have new Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions in the Motor City Machine Guns. It's like, it's 2010 all over again, and there's some people that will say, oh, you know, they come back and they're already champion, this is bullshit. You can make the argument, but honestly though, in this situation, I'm fine with it. I'm fine. Likely there'll be a rematch because I would assume that, hey, since the North held on to the title for this long, that they should get a rematch. Why would they not? And after that, you know what, they'll get the belts back, or if not, you know, like I said before, if they do go the singles route, you put the rocket ship on Ethan Page. I'm going to say that right now. But overall, again, I thought Impact was good, despite the terrible commentary of Josh Matthews and Madison Rayne. And I guess as I was watching on Twitch, Melissa Santos and her ability of being a host on Twitch, doesn't work for me. But other than that, everything on the show was good. Again, drop me your comment in the comments below, your thoughts on Impact. Did you enjoy the show or not? Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. If you have not yet checked out, this past Saturday, I did a review of Slammiversary, my overall thoughts on the show. And on Sunday, I went live with a live edition of Around the Point, where I gave my thoughts on Extreme Rules, the horror show that really was complete garbage. So that's also available on all the audio podcasting platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, and also over at Anchor.fm. As always, guys, hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, you dorks, I am Steve. This has been Around the Point. Peace out, dorks.